Hey everyone, hi, it's Lisa Clayton of lisaaclayton.com, the Inner Leader Movement founder and intuitive coach. And we have with us today our illustrious indigo mystic who assists Lisa A. Clayton in everything she does. So here's why we're here today for this new moon in Aries. Every month, I work with the angels and my divine team, and we do a full moon circle here in Half Moon Bay, California. And as you know, this pandemic that we're going through, we've been called to do overtime duty and to provide as many inspiring and uplifting messages and information that we can bring forth from the angels, from my divine team, from the ascended masters, from the ancestors, to you this time to lift you up during this pandemic and what we are going through, because it is the first time in the history of the world that we've experienced it in this lifetime, in the history of the world in this lifetime, we've experienced something so major. This is probably, so we tuned in. So what I do, it's kind of a funny story for those of you who don't know me. A few years ago, the angels kept saying to me, you need to do more astrology. You need to be working more with the heartbeat of Mother Gaia, and you bring in more astrological reports about how the planet's energies, other planets' energies are affecting Earth and how we can work with that energy. And I said to them, I'm not an astrologer. And they said, yes, you are. So remember when you were a little girl and you laid out in the out in your backyard and in the cow pastures and you counted the stars, you knew every galaxy, you knew every constellation, you connected very, very young. And we're just going to activate that back in to your skill set and your talents and gifts that you were to offer here. So this is the new moon report. The new moon is in Aries, a fire sign. So we tune in to the angels. They guide us to the information that we are to share, and then we'll do an oracle card drawing to see how they will activate this energy even more intensely, more expansive for you. So this is probably, I'm going to back up. This is probably, I'm getting so excited because this is our first new moon report, but this is probably the most powerful new moon this year. And it's so drawing us to the light now. Our ways of life over the past 2 months, there was a lot of things going on with Saturn and Pluto being in conjunction, and Saturn's transitioning into Aquarius, those of you who know astrology. So there was a lot of stuff in our life in January and February that was just falling apart. It was contracting and it was just getting ready to fall apart. And then the pandemic happens. So this new moon comes right on the tail of the spring equinox. And so it has a lot of power with it, just with that equinox energy. But it also has this fiery energy of Aries. So it is probably one of the most powerful new moons we're going to have this year. So here are the themes that came through that the angels were working with us with, is that it's a time of initiation for us, and a time for us to get back into our inner stories. We are quarantined. We are being told to stay home. And so during this beautiful new moon, the new moon is in darkness. When it goes into complete darkness, we are asked to go inward and deal with the darkness inside, to deal with the shadow side, and to set intentions of what we want to illuminate as this dark moon starts to wax into light. And so there's wow, there's just so much with this this new moon in Aries, because this is the fire sign. Aries is a fire sign, and this calls us to burn through the old and to come into this new life. Aries also rallies the spirit. Boy, can we use that right now. I mean, how are you all doing? I mean, every day there's another wave that comes in of information that we take in. So try to really stay connected in your heart and really feel the feelings in your heart and deal with those when they come through. And this is what Aries does. It rallies the spirit. And it is, and I love this because Aries is the original, what it sparks up is intuition, initiation, and inspiration. And so I have never felt more inspired right now with the work that I'm doing in the inner leader movement and how to get it out there, how I can reach more people with it. And this isn't about a business model. This is about the message and how we can uplift humanity at this time to come back into our inner self. So this is the perfect time to go inward and really challenge our inner stories. Okay, so this is to look in that darkness under this new moon. Oh, so here's the other really key point for this. This new moon is conjunct with Chiron, and Chiron is the wounded healer, the teacher, the one who knows illness. I mean, how could this not line up even more beautifully for this pandemic? It holds the type in this, and Chiron speaks to, and Chiron always has, every time I work with Chiron energy, it's always about psychological wounding. So this is why the angels are saying, get people under this new moon to go in and examine these inner stories that you've been telling yourself. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I need this degree. I need more money. I need this. I need that in order for me to feel complete. Those are stories that you have been fed or been taught or been told or been conditioned with, so that you would hold back on your essence and that other controls come into your life and control the direction in which you are going. So those inner stories need to be cleared out. And this new moon is perfect to do that. It also, this new moon in Aries asks us to rally the courage to meet this moment with as much honesty as we can. Oh my gosh, there's so many opinions and so many different truths out there and untruths out there right now. It's really hard to take in all the information that is swirling all around your energy fields. So just be, again, oh boy, they're coming through pretty strong right now. What they're saying is the more that you can center in your heart and the more that you can slow down in this time of quarantine and being in our homes and really go into stillness, breathe into the heart and get centered. You're saying that's the most important thing. And then start pulling in this beautiful healing energy, this beautiful moving from darkness into light. Yesterday's Monday mantra was about the source love light. I'm looking at my chalkboard up here and transmuting ourselves into the source light. And this is going to be really important during this time. So it feels like there is this inner story, these inner stories. We don't sometimes just have one. We usually have one main theme of a story. I'm not good enough, or I'm not smart enough, or I'm not intelligent, smart enough, intelligence, that's the same thing, but there's some story that we kind of have gravitated onto. I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy enough. And so these stories that get ingrained into us, it could be attached to mother figures in your life, and that's the mother figure is attached to the moon, or it could be father figures in your life, or male relationships, or just the patriarchy, and that is related to the sun. But what it feels like when I tapped in with this is that there's something lingering in our cells. Okay, this ancestral coding, this pattern of carrying on the lack, the survival, and it feels like that's clearing out now. And I have some information on that I've been working with the past 6 months on this ancestral lineage being cleared. But it really feels like these inner stories, a lot of them have to do with these ancestral programmings that we received too, based on how our ancestors passed down these different conditions and beliefs. So there is this this Chiron energy coming up in this new moon, this psychological wounding that we got told or taught about, that we weren't good enough. My sister and I were just talking today about some of the things that we were told or taught, either through schools, churches, our parents, our ancestors, but we were taught to please others. We were taught to be worried about what others thought of us. We were taught that there was an image to portray. And so we carried that story with us about going out to others instead of coming into our own essence and really tapping into who we were and what we were to bring forth, instead of being robotically trained to be a certain way to please, to be accepted, to be recognized. Boy, and I've spent the last few years just undoing each one of those stories and coming into a new essence. It's not even new, it's just the essence of who I am, but with a new story. So that's what this new moon is asking us to do, that the ancestral coding can be healed. And you want to work with the rays of the source energy. Again, the angels and the guides are really talking about, in this time now, really get back to the source love light, the essence of who you are, the creator energy within you, the God force, the God light, however you want to describe it, that we all came from source. And so this is a time to really work, activate, experiment, discover, become an initiate under this beautiful source love light, so that you can heal yourself, get rid of the old stories, work with that shadow side that's been, shadow likes to like pull you in, and pull you in, and light brings and expands you forward. So that shadow side, a lot of times we'll just go inward. A lot of us are experiencing the shadow right now, because of this pandemic and the virus that's coming through is causing us to go in more, which is a perfect time, because as you go in and you release these, the darkness and the shadow side, this old DNA patterning and old stories will not keep hanging on. Okay, so the shadow is being unmasked and the veil is definitely lifting. And individually, we have worn these veils with living our stories that are not true about us, that the mind ego has reinforced. So stay in your heart and keep working with your intuitive intelligence of your heart for this healing to occur. And as we write this new earth story, that's what we're doing with this pandemic. We're writing a new earth story. We are going to write our own new stories, our own personal stories that feed ourselves a light, a source light that is now in alignment with source. The old stories are not in alignment with source light. So once we release these old stories, and that's what we do in the inner leader movement, we work a lot on the stories that we have been told or taught about us, and we dig deep into how they have a grip on us in so many different levels, our spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical domains of energy and resiliency. So I won't get into too much of that now and into the teachings of the inner leader movement, because this is our first official new moon report, and Indigo is going to help us choose some angel cards that will help activate you coming out of this dark moon period and into the light of healing and into the light of love. Isn't she adorable? I don't know what I'd do without her. Okay, Indigo, you know the routine. You're getting pretty good at this. We're going to choose some angel cards to help us through this period, to activate, to expand, to initiate. Ready? Okay. She's done another birthday video. One of my friend's nieces, who's just turning 5 years old in Mexico City. Of course, they can't have any parties or any gatherings. So we did a special birthday video today. So Indigo's been working on videos all day. She's been overworked, but not underpaid. Okay, Indigo, let's tap. Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right. Do you want to give it a kiss? No, she's not going to kiss him today. Okay, so what we do energetically, we've already called in the angels and my divine team, and shared with you the downloads for the new moon. But we're going to just shuffle now in this energy. I don't even like to consider these cards. These are really divine messages that come through an oracle. So some people always say to me, "Are you a card reader?" No, I'm not a card reader. I love to use oracle cards to get them lined up with the energy, to give visual messages and to get additional messages to help us navigate through the present evolutionary cycle of where we are now. Okay, here we go. Ha. All right. Oh, this is why I love using the oracle cards, because they always align with the energy that's coming through. So here's Zafkiel. Hello. There we go, folks. We're going to surrender up. Look at that beautiful source light right in the sacred space of the heart, in our human third dimensional vehicles. There it is, shining and surrendering up that old story that is not true about you. It's not true that you're not good enough, you're not smart enough. You have this beautiful power inside of you of source love light. And so Zachiel is saying, just surrender it up. Just open up. You really don't even have to say anything. Just say, I surrender. And this shadow side, this darkness, this guilt, this blame, this self-sabotage that I have been imposing upon myself, I surrender it up. Thank you, Zafkiel. Beautiful, beautiful card. I love it. Okay, and guess what? Jophiel's saying this is the time, my friends, to use this beautiful source love light. It is just absolutely gorgeous. This eagle flying in the rays of this beautiful white source light. Jophiel's saying, liberate yourselves, folks. This is the time of liberation. This is the time to, as we have more time, this is the time, I was talking to my sister today, she's a preschool director. She said, this is the time that parents are learning to be parents again. We have depended on so many systems to take care of us. And those systems are crumbling away. Those systems were taken away from us this week so that we could get back to who we are and liberate ourselves through this beautiful source white light, through the divine help of the angels, your celestial team, the ascended masters, the divine feminine council, whoever you work with in the higher dimensions. Boy, it's time to call them in and say, okay, let's release this. Let's liberate. What are the new ways of living? How are we going to move forward? We don't know. We're in between stories right now. We're in between, we're in the unknown. And this is one of the best times to percolate, to escalate, to initiate yourself. Percolate ideas, escalate your, what is my heart saying I'm really, really, really passionate about? What makes my heart so happy when I do this? And sometimes we don't even know. We don't even know because we've been so distracted and we've been so pulled by the external systems that have been taken away from us. Here we are, quarantined, in lockdown, saying, Jophiel saying, yep, it's time for liberation. Isn't that cool? Indigo, you did good. Surrender and liberation. Love, 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 love. Okay, folks, we love you. We are here for you. We are here every step of the way. We are going to be doing more spontaneous pop-ons with the angels and our divine team. We never know who's going to come through, but we are here to help and guide you and get you connected back to your source self, that beautiful essence from which you came into this earth with, when you came out of that beautiful womb of safety and security, there you are bringing forth your purest essence. And that's what we're redoing, right? That's what's happening with this new moon right now. So think of the ways under this new moon that you can sit down and just write down some intentions of rebirthing yourself. What stories do you want to get rid of? Just all of the things, just pull it all out. Pull it all out and put it out there underneath this powerful, fiery new moon in Aries. Okay, we love you. We love you, and we will see you soon. Indigo, say goodbye to your YouTube audience and the audiences who will find you somewhere in the world. Okay, we love you. Namaste. So much love, and take good care of yourself. Stay in and utilize this beautiful percolating time to come back to your source self. Bye-bye.